Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie, and this is Unity Consciousness. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I'm so glad you did. I'd like to welcome any new subscribers and also thank those of you who are returning for this week's energy update. Before we jump in, I would like to say thank you to my hosts here at Rivershire Retreat in lovely northern Michigan. I always enjoy my time here. And also explain a little bit about our setup for today. Typically, I like to either be at Riverside when I'm recording videos or make sure that the river's in the shot. You can barely see it in this shot in the background, but in the foreground, my host had an altar-like setup with crystals and rocks taken from various places in and around where she has visited, as well as some really cool words of inspiration. Also, in addition, you will see the deck that I'm using for today's tarot, which is Divine Nature. It was written by Angi Sullins, and the artwork is by Greg Spalenka. So anyway, let's get started. The energy this week is quite powerful. We have, beginning tomorrow, Monday, Mercury, which is in Aquarius, is going to trine Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. And it's important to note that Jupiter is going to go direct on the 4th, the very next day. So Jupiter energy is going to be very pronounced this week. And I do believe with Mercury in Aquarius now trining Jupiter in Gemini, new ideas, news that you hear, creating optimism and wanting you to co-create with cooperation and perhaps humanitarianism are in focus now. We need to be thinking about the collective consciousness, and through those inspiring messages, it's going to bring forth some truthful clarifications to you, and perhaps some situations that have been clogged, blocked, or stymied are going to move forward, especially if they have to do with humanitarianism, or any other Aquarian themes, truth, justice, collective consciousness, those type things. Then the very next day, which is Tuesday, we've got a big energy day. It's almost like the party that you want to have on Monday gets a little, somebody's trying to squash it on Tuesday. We've got Mars retrograde in Cancer is squaring Chiron in Aries. Now, this stepping on the party might be old wounding that you have or someone else has that they want to try to, or you're trying to substantiate your existence. You're wounded in a place of not being seen or heard. That Chiron and Aries wounding is rearing its head, and it's creating ego-based situations. And really what we want to do here is lean into heart-centered consciousness. Anywhere where you're getting a pushback on the feelings of yesterday, that very optimistic, creative energy that you had yesterday, if somebody's stepping in to poo-poo the party, let's say, or even you second-guessing something, pause here and lean into heart-centered consciousness for clarity. Also on this day, Venus is going to enter the sign of Aries. And she's going to have an elongated stay here due to her retrograde cycle. And with it being a retrograde cycle, there's going to be retrospection of your essence, relationships, money, self-worth, that sort of thing, because she's in the sign of Aries. Remember to stay centered in the self, not self-centered now. Aries energy at the 3D level can be somewhat self-centered or very self-centered. And again, at the 5D level, we are centered in ourself. We understand our essence, and we can use that Venusian energy in that very positive 5D way. So let's focus on that. But part of this Venus retrograde cycle is going to be the evaluation of that. In addition, on this day, Jupiter is going to go direct in the sign of Gemini. Again, projects stalled out are now moving forward. You're much more optimistic and enthusiastic because things are shaking loose and moving forward. Truth and authenticity could be a focus here, especially as you move forward with truth and authenticity, you're going to get a little bit more enthusiastic about the various things that were stalled out. Then we're going to zoom forward to Friday. Friday's another big energy day. We will have Neptune is going to conjunct the true north node in the sign of Pisces. And this is all about compassion, humanitarianism, intuition, spirituality. But we could see flooding and weather events because it's water. And, you know, Neptune in the sign of Pisces is all about water, water toxicity, those type things. So they could be a little bit more pronounced on this day or the days coming to this and shortly thereafter. Be mindful here of the 3D aspects of Neptune and Pisces and what the 3D aspects of what we're trying to step away from as the North Node moves through Pisces is escapism and deceit, okay? Focus on your intuition here for sure. Also on this day, we've got Venus, newly in the sign of Aries, is going to sextile Pluto in Aquarius. This is part of Venus retrograde cycle. There'll be a repeat of this on March 21st when she is retrograde, and then again on the 6th of May when she is direct and Pluto is retrograde. This energy is asking us, while we're in our true essence, again, we are centered in the self, not self-centered, we can improve our relationships. Pluto's in Aquarius with authenticity, with truth. We can find freedom in relationships. But it's important to remember we want to be centered in the self as we understand our true essence. But Pluto is really helping us transform relationships now as we do that. Then on that same day, the Sun, then Mercury, will be quincunx Mars, which is retrograde in Cancer. So I almost feel like that same energy that was challenging on the 4th, relative to Mars retrograde squaring Chiron and Aries, it's kind of creeping back in again. And we need to stay away from ego here. That would be my recommendation. And trust your intuition. Something really doesn't add up. There could be some fear-based tactics here. Beware, it's a quincunx, two different opposing energies, or not opposing, two different energies that don't really jibe trying to make it work. And you might have to pivot a little bit here. Then on the 8th, which is Saturday, we will have the Sun in Aquarius, then Mercury in Aquarius. They're almost neck and neck now, are going to sextile Chiron in Aries. I love this energy. Talk about that healing energy. Anything where Mars retrograde in Cancer squared Chiron earlier in the week, we are now using that Aquarian energy, the essence of Aquarius, and the open-minded, creative energy that is Mercury in Aquarius to heal the wounding of not being seen and heard. Our need to substantiate who we are shedding those wounds. We are healing those wounds with truth and authentic open-mindedness and very much creative communications, okay? We're healing that essence. Then on Sunday, closing out the week, that Mars retrograde in Cancer is going to trine Saturn in Pisces. Now, this is part of the retrograde cycle as well. On the 4th of April, Mars will be direct, and then we'll trine Saturn again. So this is kind of a pause for purpose, a reality check, but it's for good purpose, and it's easy because it's a trine here. We're taking time to pause and step into heart-centered consciousness. We want to step away from ego-based reality. So heart-centered consciousness, pausing, leaning into our intuition, and taking stock. Like I said, that reality check is going to come easy, but it's pause for purpose, but it feels real good to do that. On that same day, Mercury and the Sun will have a Cazimi. they're going to conjunct. And as I mentioned, you know, they're going to have that positive conversation with Chiron just the day before. So this is all about truth, honesty, authenticity, open-mindedness, and it's quite rejuvenating and refreshing. Talk about feeling just totally rejuvenated. Mercury will now be carrying forward these themes through its retrograde cycles over the course of the year, bringing this energy to whatever zodiac sign those retrograde cycles fall in. We are embracing yet further the age of Aquarius. When I did this, because the Sun and Mercury are at 20 degrees 59 minutes of Aquarius at the time of this Cazimi, I wanted to look up the Sabian symbol. I was drawn to do that, so I did. I find this very interesting. The Sabian symbol for 21 degrees, because we round up, of 21 degrees of Aquarius is a woman disappointed and disillusioned, courageously facing the future. Let me read that again. A woman disappointed and disillusioned, courageously facing the future. Okay, let's take a look at the card that jumped out today. Again, Divine Nature deck. And the card that jumped out is called Navigate with Heart. Make sure you can see that. Let's see what the book has to say. All day, every day, your heart performs one function. It regulates flow. And it speaks one language: open, close. When we allow our heart to navigate our life, it's much easier to determine if a person, place, or opportunity is aligned with our highest good or not. First, ask yourself, does this situation align with flow? Does it feel upstream or downstream? And second, does this situation open me up and make me feel more possible and more alive? Or does it make me feel small, cramped, and less than? These are the only two directions the heart knows. More of what opens us up, less of what closes us down. Your heart is the rudder on the ship of your life. You're being asked, with the pull of this card, to listen to its simple directives in order to set a course for your own true north. Boy, that speaks about North Node in Pisces. This speaks about heart-centered consciousness, with our Mars retrograde in Cancer. It speaks about Jupiter going direct in Gemini and moving forward. I love it, love it, love it. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked this video, please do click the like button. If you want to know when videos are being dropped, click the subscribe button. And if you have any comments or suggestions, post them in the comment box below. It has been a pleasure visiting with you today and sharing some inspiration for the week ahead. Have a fabulous week of expansion, moving forward, heart-centered consciousness, and the healing of the I Am. Namaste.